Belgium, the famous Francorchamps circuit. Just wait for a few more people to jump into the lobby, of course, and then we'll be able to kick on and get going with this one. So yeah, looking like Ashik is going to be the first driver out on track on the in the Supra this time. Seems like he's decided to change up his colour as a car, I should say. But we are underway now for the GT7 League, of course, around the famous Francorchamps circuit as well, in the Ardennes Forest of Belgium. And yeah, it looks like we're underway. Waiting for a couple of people to jump into the lobby as well. I think we might be a bit too slow getting themselves into the session. And of course, the longer it takes for you to join in, the longer it takes for the less time you have for the practice and the qualifying itself. So of course, if you don't set a time in the practice and qualifying, you start further down the order. But of course, we've got a 100% race to 100% race. Sorry, that's completely wrong. 1 hour endurance race that's going to be, of course, the next phase after the 10-15 minute qualifying that we're going to have for you first before we get started for that race. So yeah, not too long now. Of course, the times that are set in this practice / qualifying are the ones that sort the grid order out for the start of the 1 hour endurance race, which will be coming up in a few minutes time. Welcome to Pappy. I'll call you Pappy. New follower to HG. Thank you very much for following us in the Twitch comments, in the Twitch, I say, and looking forward to having you for the remainder of our streams this season. Of course, we've got plenty of races still to come. Should be going until the winter time at least. So yeah, looking forward to seeing you in the chat for the remaining streams. We've got Ashik there just setting his sights now, getting himself going now in the Supra as well. A couple more people still to join as well, so yeah, we should have a bit more for the beginning of the race. Ashik there having a bit of a torrid time keeping it on the track there, it looks like, as he's slid off the track there, it seems. Reza has he's changed out with Genesis GR3, unfortunately, for the GR3 fans, or the Genesis GR3 fans as well. As Ashik there, he's having a bit of a torrid time getting himself back onto the circuit, it looks like. Hopefully he can do that quickly. Yeah, the Reza there and out in the Supra as well. A very nice lime green sort of neon livery as well for the championship leader, of course. Masood is in the Porsche 911, looking good indeed as well as he's joining the grid. Ashik has got himself back going again. Good stuff. Mohammed is also in the 911 this time. In a nice, he's improving his liveries week on week, isn't he? So unfortunately, we didn't have we didn't see the livery last week. So unfortunately, we didn't have a stream last week because I was away on holiday and nobody decided to fill in for me. So there was no stream for the Circuit de Catalunya race, I should say, last week. Which of course was at the famous Barcelona circuit. But there will be tonight, and hopefully for the foreseeable rounds we'll have a stream at least. As Reza there will be looking to get his, he's got his fans in the comments here as Ricky has just said, hi, go Reza as well. So supporting Reza in the comments already. Don't think he needs much support, to be fair, because he seems to be doing pretty well as he is. Maybe he's got that fan base is pushing him on to exceed his expectations there, and he's done a good job so far this season. Only in the first 6 rounds he's already got the championship lead, and he's looking pretty strong in the championship as it stands as well. Here he is again, says DJ, the man, the myth, the bits. As Reza having a bit of a problem there through Blanchimont. No, there's before Blanchimont there. He needs to make sure he gets out of the way now of the 911 of Masood. Yeah, the bits are in the comments. Says DJ, good stuff. Thanks for the bits. We love your bits, and we want to see more of your bits. Yeah, not quite sure what's happening there. I think maybe Masood and Reza got a bit tangled up there. There seems to be a penalty for the driver in P1. He's got half a second. Not quite sure why he's picked that up or how he's picked that up. He's going off track very slightly. But nonetheless, we are underway now. Like I say, we've got a few more people still to join us, as Masood having a bit of trouble coming out of turn 1. And yeah, he's conceded his place there to Reza there. But yeah, hopefully we can get a couple more people into the lobby as well. And Mohammed, sorry, I should say, has got the fastest lap so far of a 2 minute and 21 seconds. So I think we're going to be about, I was trying to get me maths right here. I think we're going to be looking at about 22 laps in total for the 1 hour endurance race, maybe a bit less than that. I think it's going to be around 22, 23 maybe, something like that, around that mark. So we're going to have, so yeah, unfortunately we're going to have a few less laps, of course. So that will mean that we've got less laps, but it's a much longer lap indeed. So that will, of course, mean that, like I said, they've got more racing to do in terms of the lap time rather than just going around for 1 minute 30 instead. So they've got a bit more of a challenge now around the Spa-Francorchamps circuit. Todd is out on track. He's in the Mercedes AMG GT3, looking very nice indeed. A nice Oreo sponsorship, making me very hungry indeed, and that is a lovely livery. I think one of my favourites so far this season as well. And he's got a slogan on there as well. I'm just trying to catch that, but yeah, looking fantastic. There is Todd. I love that indeed. That is absolutely brilliant, and yeah, I can't wait to tuck into a nice snack after this race. Yeah, good stuff indeed from Todd, putting in the effort with the nice liveries as well. So yeah, splendid stuff from Todd. Unfortunately, so far, none of the guys, they've got some nice liveries on the cars, but they haven't got anything as good as Todd, I don't think. So we're just seeing a few drivers flying around Francorchamps now towards the bus stop chicane, which is the final chicane, the complex of corners before the start and finish line there. As Todd, they're going around now to start another lap. We're getting more and more food and drink related liveries, says DJ in the comments as well. Yes, that is what I like. It makes me thirsty, makes me hungry for the end of the race. But nonetheless, I just have to stop salivating and trying to get my words out in the meantime for the next hour or so. But yeah, I'll do my best. But I can't promise anything, especially when I'm looking at Todd's car. It is looking delicious, in my opinion, as the Oreo sponsorship. Very nice combination as well with the black and blue and the white as well. So looking very nice indeed, very tasty. So yeah, looking forward to seeing what he can do, of course, in this race. We've got Angel back out on track, going down the Kennel Straight now in his M&M Porsche 911. And yeah, again, one of the other cars that makes me very hungry, and indeed. And yeah, looking at the Porsche coming through now. Angel, they're doing a good job. He's having a bit of trouble keeping it on track at the moment, unfortunately, but nonetheless, he is yeah, again in one of the tastier liveries, which is very nice indeed. Hodgson said, you want to try and get a sponsorship with Oreo? I think M&M, Oreo, any of them would do. To be fair, I will take that without any questions really. Just so I can have a nice snack. I can have some snacks during the stream, I suppose, and then that would then have a break for a sponsorship break. Whilst I eat my Oreos and my M&Ms, of course, because here comes Angel, like I said, in the M&M Porsche 911. And just trying to get past Reza, looks like as well. So Reza just getting out of the way there nicely. So yeah, any food companies that want to sponsor the GT7 streams, we will get all the drivers to racing or livery as well, of course, and then we will get some nice tasty snacks hopefully to go with it for our mid-stream break. Not we're planning on having a mid-stream break, but we can definitely work one in for you if you're listening, Oreo or M&M. So yeah, not a problem at all. But yeah, like I said, it's we're looking forward to a good race nonetheless. It doesn't matter really what your livery is, unfortunately, for the racing itself. But like I said, it's always very nice to see a nice themed livery as we get to the track. Of course, round 7 tonight around Spa-Francorchamps, the normal full course layout as well. So it's similar to the F1 track, or the same as the F1 track, I should say, really. But of course, the pit lane entry and exit is the same as well. You can see the pit lane on the left-hand side there as well, as they come round turn 1 now down the hill towards the Eau Rouge complex of corners. Todd is currently fastest there with a 1 minute 17, so he's improved by 4 seconds to Mohammed's time that we saw earlier in the session. The Oreo car is in P1 as it stands at the moment, which is very nice to see. free snacks for the viewers? Yeah, we'll hand them all out. Yeah, hopefully we can. If we get that Oreo sponsorship, I'm sure they can deal with that, and they can send it out to wherever you are as well. To Viton having a bit of trouble. They're getting through the first chicane, but at the moment he is on pole position as it stands. As I think just getting a bit of a top up there and a new set of boots is Reza in P2 at the moment. So yeah, let's have a look and we'll see. But there's only a few more minutes of this to for the drivers to set their times in anyway, and then we'll be cracking on with the 1 hour endurance race that will be coming up in just about 5 minutes time, maybe a bit less than 5 minutes time. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, like I said, we'll have to wait and see what the drivers are going to be doing, what they're going to be deciding to do for their qualifying format. Whether they want to go out on track or not, it doesn't look like DJ or Hodgson. Or I'm just having a look at Hodgson's car there. It looks like it has got a monster-themed livery, so I will have to. I'll have to not look at that just yet. We have got DJ as well in the pits as well, who's got a nice Coca-Cola themed livery as well. So yeah, a bit more to quench my thirst after my M&Ms and my Oreos. I've got some Coca-Cola or some Monster energy drinks to wash it down with us. We've got a bit of a problem there for one of the M&M cars. He is off the circuit, and that is a big smash there. It's going to be a big smash for Angel there. He just lost control of the car there. You can see coming through, he's decided to reset to the pits, which I think was a good idea, because that car would have a bit of damage there that needs to be fixed. You're covered, says Pappy. Yeah, good stuff indeed. Yeah, I'm definitely covered. I've got some nice snacks, and I've got some nice drinks to wash it down with as well. So I'm looking forward to this race for sure. As Reza there is Reza taking the fastest lap? No, he's not quite. It's just of course Viton just put himself back in the pits there, I think. So I don't know what happened to Viton. Yes, he has gone back to the pits. So yeah, he's just getting himself sorted. We do have a nice look there at DJ's car as well. And Hodgson's, who's both got lovely Coca-Cola and Monster themed liveries as well, which is very nice indeed. So yeah, I'm looking forward to washing down the Oreos and the M&Ms with that. But really, what I should be talking about is the racing. And yeah, like I said, we've got a few drivers now back out on track, getting themselves sorted. A few drivers just topping up the fuel, getting themselves back out on track as well. I think DJ's headed out onto the circuit. I can't quite select him. I don't know why. Hopefully he's his car has gone, I think, from the pit lane. So no, he's come back now. So he decided to pop himself back in a bit. Never mind. We'll ignore that bit for a bit. But here comes, I've got Masood there, who's switched, I think, to the 911. He's having a bit of trouble trying to keep it on the circuit. He has managed to hold it on the tarmac, not on the gravel, which is what you want to see. That gravel bit is the bit that you don't want to be on, and you want to be on the grey stuff, in my personal opinion. But like I said, I would probably be doing even worse if I was driving, so I wouldn't hold it to me. If you want to go on the gravel, go on the gravel, because it's probably the faster strategy than I would know. So there we go. Here comes Reza there to start another lap. I think he's just started another lap because he's not been able to improve on the current gap. He's got 0.6 to Viton there in first. So Reza there looking to improve to try and steal away that pole position, of course, which will be for the start of this race in just about under a couple of minutes time now. I suppose I think we're starting at about 15:15, so we've only got a minute or two before we get started for the race. As John has put in the octopus emojis. Thank you very much for the octopus emojis. Of course, a fan favourite of the HDE channel. For whatever reason, I don't actually know the origin of it. As I think Reza there going pretty strong at the moment. He's almost 5 temps up in the first sector. Good evening to yourself, John, as well. Thanks for joining us in the stream. So we'll have a look on board Reza here. I think hopefully he can get his time in before the session starts. Depends when DJ decides to drop the hat on that one. But we are at 9:15 now, so we should be heading into the 1 hour endurance race very, very shortly. Within a few seconds, as we are heading in now, and that is the order. So unfortunately Reza didn't get his time in. We've got Viton there on pole, Reza in P2, Ashik P3, Masood in P4, Mohammed in P5, Hodgson P6, Angel there in P7, and then DJ in P8. Unfortunately, We were expecting a few more people to jump into this lobby, but unfortunately they haven't made it. So hopefully next week they can get themselves back in time. 5 red lights are on in Belgium, and they are out in Belgium as we get started. Away goes VTOD now from P1. Reza there in P2, trying to go around the outside into turn 1. It's going to be difficult. Making sure we get your braking point right as well is very difficult around in turn 1 as well. Sheik there keeps his P3, Masood in P4. Everyone seems to have stayed the same, I think, apart from Hodgson. Unfortunately, dropped down a place. Being overtaken by Angel there into P6 now is Angel, and the Monster Energy delivery of Hodgson has dropped down to P7. Coming up Eau Rouge now, it looks like everybody's got through there just about safely enough, and I think we're going to see a change for the leaders. The slipstream for Reza coming down the Kettle straight now. Can he make a move into turn 4? No, he's backed off there just slightly. I think just braking a bit earlier than VTOD did, just to make sure he didn't go back into the back of that Mercedes AMG, but he's managed to keep that position, and now he's going to try and go for the lead here. It looks like these two are going to start to pull a lead. It looks like they've already started to create a gap to the drivers behind, so looking good already for the likes of VTOD and for Reza. Of course, we saw VTOD, we saw him qualify. I think it was on pole position as well for round 5, which was in Croatia in the Dragon Trail. Oh, Reza there having a bit of trouble trying to correct the car, and that has allowed VTOD to escape. Yeah, like I was saying, we had VTOD there on pole position, but he had a bit of a torrid race in round 5, and like I said, he looked really good in the qualifying, but then it just didn't go well from it in the beginning of the race, and then it just sort of cost him further down the order. But yes, it seems like Hodgson. Oh, it's Hodgson's off the circuit there. I'm not sure if there's any contact there between himself and I think it might have been Angel. I'm not sure. It might be Mohammed actually. Sorry. Hopefully there's no issues there. It didn't look like there was any malicious contact, I should say. I think it was just unfortunate coding there from the Sony Interactive team. But Hodgson now dropping down to the back, and he's not having a great time in that BMW there. He's off the circuit, is Hodgson, unfortunately, the second place man in the championship. He's not having a great time on this lap, unfortunately for him. Hopefully he can get himself back underway. I think he might be serving a penalty, or serve that on the next lap. I'm not quite sure whether Hodgson is just having a bit of a difficult time in that BMW M6. Hopefully he can get himself sorted and crack on with the rest of this race, because like I said, he's got plenty of time to get back into this race. As Mohammed going wide there at the exit of the bus stop, Kane is receiving that position now to DJ. Up into P6 now is the Coca-Cola themed Mustang. John's put the Red Bull logo in the comment section. I'm not quite sure if you're in the right race, mate. So we need to sort that out. Hopefully Hodgson can get himself repaired and sorted. He's in the pits now. I think, like I said, he's got a bit of bumper damage. To get fixed on that car. So here comes Reza now. Reza trying to get the better of VTOD, but it looks like these guys just pulling away nicely indeed. Actually, we've had the first lap done and dusted. Now we're on to lap 2. And here comes Reza. He's still trying to get in that slipstream, staying in that slipstream very nicely indeed. Getting that braking point right for the beginning of sector 2 now as well. But it looks like I said, the top 3 trying to extend their gap and get away, and I think the top 2 might be creating their own group really as well. I think Ashik might be dropping off the back here slightly, only very slightly at the moment, but I think it's just about happening now. It depends, of course, what the fuel levels are for the drivers, what the tyre strategies are. Of course, we've got the top 3 all on the medium compound tyres, so they'll be looking to go the same sort of distance on the mediums this time. As it looks like Ashik has got his indicators on, which is nice to see, as well as hazard lights on indeed actually, so he's just showing us that he knows that we're there, and that we need to be aware of his car that is speeding around the Belgium circuit. Hodgson has got himself repaired now and back underway onto the racing hards now as the BMW M6. So looking to go longer in this stint. He's having a bit of a torrid time there, trying to keep it on the circuit once again there through the first chicane of sector 2. Hopefully he can get that car going in the right direction. That Monster Energy livery is looking absolutely fantastic, I must say indeed. So hopefully he can race as good as his livery is looking, and pull it back to where he wants to be. But nonetheless, it's been a pretty good start to this race, I think, in my opinion. Not too many incidents and collisions, thankfully, but I might have jinxed it. Just outside of 1 second is Reza from VTOD. VTOD leading the way from pole position in this race, and he's doing a fantastic job so far as well to keep that gap. VTOD, they're setting the fastest lap of the race as well, just to emphasise his superiority in this one, and looking good indeed is VTOD. I think the mediums they're starting to get a bit of wear now. Of course, the wear will be different as well compared to previous races, as we've got I think we've got somebody in the pits, haven't we? No, it doesn't look like it. I think it's Mohammed. They're just having a bit of trouble on that last lap. Hodgson doing a good job of getting back into the race. I'm sure he'll be back in the group, in the fold very shortly once he's got himself back underway. Yeah, here comes again Reza with the slipstream, this time on VTOD. Once again, he's gaining down the Kemmel straight, but he can't get that gap down quite enough to be able to get into open position, unfortunately, for the end of the straight into the braking zone. So he has to bide his time once again. He has got the gap down massively here. VTOD, I think, was going for it on the beginning of this race, and now is having to save a bit of fuel. I think potentially we'll find out. I think he's not too far off in terms of the fuel levels to Reza, so it's not too bad at the moment as it stands for the Mercedes AMG, who has of course qualified on pole position and leading this race now into Poo. On he comes, and he's going to be put under a lot of pressure now. Of course, Reza being so close now through the corners will mean that when he gets onto the straight coming through into sector 3 now, he will be able to get that slipstream even more, and that will turn him along very nicely. The top two now creating a massive gap to the guys behind him. They've got an over 3 second gap now to Sheik there in P3, and an even bigger gap now to Masood, Angel and DJ in P4 down to P6, and Mohammed there struggling at the moment. I think unfortunately for him and Hodgson there trying to get back into the fray, but I don't think it will take too long for him to get back into this one. We shall find out. But here comes Reza now with the slipstream. Can he make a move now around Francorchamps into the bus stop chicane? It looks like it's going to be a move here soon as VTOD goes wide off the circuit there. He's under pressure now from Reza in the Supra, and no moves into. I think unfortunately for VTOD, he's got a 1 second penalty that will have to be served on the next lap now at the deceleration line. But I think this is where Reza might take the lead of the race. Here comes Reza now down the inside of VTOD, down the inside of the Mercedes into turn 1 they come, and yeah, he's got that move done and dusted. Has Reza up into P1 now in the Toyota Supra. A great move there indeed, but VTOD they're trying to do the switch back now. Down the hill they come towards Eau Rouge. This is going to be close here. They're going to go side by side through here. This is going to be dangerous as well, but it looks like VTOD has claimed the position back, and up the hill they go, and they've made it through both safely enough, and into P1, well, back into P1 I should say, is VTOD, and Reza there I think just backing off there as the fuel levels seem pretty stable for both of them at the moment. So yeah, I think they're just having a bit of a fight between the two of them. This has helped Ashik there catch up to the flight for the top steps of the podium as well. So now into P3, and only 2 seconds behind now is Ashik, who was over 3 seconds at one point, and that has really helped. We've got a bit of gloomy clouds coming in over the Spa-Francorchamps circuit as well. Will that mean we've got some rain coming in this race? We'll find out, of course, in the next few minutes. Oh, as VTOD having a bit of a squirrel there coming through the corner of No Name, but he's managed to keep it on circuit. But of course, I think with that penalty that he has to serve there, that 1 second penalty, I think if going wide there at Francorchamps, he will of course lose the lead of this race, which is going to be not going to be very convenient for him, of course, as you can expect. But yeah, I think going wide there at Francorchamps at the end of the last lap has cost him that 1 second penalty, which of course will be served as they come round into sector 3 now. He's already got that, you can see there he's slowing down there as he comes up to the penalty line, but he needs to make sure that he slows down when he comes through here. We'll see the markers on each side of the track, hopefully. I think we'll see the yellow markers very shortly. There's the yellow markers, they flashed through, as here comes Reza now. Reza's taken the lead. Of course, VTOD there serving that penalty now, so the penalty has gone for VTOD, and he now has to get himself back on after Reza as well, because of course Reza now has over a 1 second lead after the penalty was applied for VTOD. So VTOD now needs to get underway and try and track down Reza in that Supra, and get himself back in this back in the order, in the frame for this this victory, of course, which it looks like VTOD is definitely in the frame for. Sheik, they're doing a great job of pulling himself back into the fight here as well. Now into P3, he's only 1.2 seconds behind, which is actually less than the gap between the leaders, and no, I should say that is now 1.5, 1.6 between the leaders, and then 1 second between Sheik and VTOD, so it's going to be very close indeed between these two, as here comes Angel there, getting himself up into P4, I think Masood might have had a bit of a mistake there, unfortunately, which has dropped him down behind Angel and DJ as well, I should say. Mohammed there doing a good job of keeping going in this race, and Hodgson, I think is he closing in? I don't think he's closing in, unfortunately, at the moment. Hopefully he can get himself back underway. I think he might have had another problem somewhere else on the circuit, and so he's dropping back at the moment. But of course we will see, hopefully, him coming back in this race, no doubt, as looks like the gap between Reza and V Todd, all that time behind V Todd has meant that I think Reza was just saving his fuel, saving his energy, saving his tyres, and now V Todd is finding out the pace of the real pace of Reza, as he's already extended a 2.3 second gap to the man in P2. Unfortunately for V Todd, he was leading this race very comfortably. He put it on pole position as well, very comfortably in the practice / qualifying event as well, and now it looks like he's going to have to try and fight even harder for the victory in this one. Two seconds is the gap. We're on lap 5, and we're already 11 minutes through. So that would mean that we're doing about 30 laps. No, that's definitely not right. We're doing less than that. We're doing much less than that. I think we're doing 23 laps, 24 laps maybe in total. So yeah, not too far. Not too far in this race, of course, in terms of number of laps. But of course, the track distance is much greater than the other tracks we've raced on so far this season as well. So like I said, we'll have to go and look through the YouTube streams. We've got all the YouTube streams, all the Twitch streams, of course. All of the streams are backed up onto both, so you can go and watch them whenever you please. So yes, it looks like Reza now trying to extend that gap. It's now 2.6 seconds to V Todd. V Todd has now extended the gap as well to Sheik, back up to 2 seconds as well. So all the top 3 stretching out their times now as it stands. Maybe that is a strategic call. Maybe that is just a bit of fuel saving and a bit of tyre saving as well. But V Todd there, you can see that front left is absolutely burning up there on the medium compound tyre for V Todd, and as is Reza as well, both on the fronts there for Reza, but most specifically for the left front for V Todd as well, and maybe that is something to do with the setup, of course, for the cars. But yeah, that is a bit of an issue, I think, for V Todd. He will have to, of course, deal with that later on in this race. He'll have to make a pit stop earlier than the rest of the drivers around him. Here is DJ in the Coca-Cola themed Mustang, trying to chase the M&M themed Porsche 911, it looks like, of Angel for P4. This is the battle for, and looking like he's gaining on that Porsche. Can't quite make a move just yet down the Camel Straight. He's going to have to try and slipstream towards the corner of No Name and get it round this one more lap, and then maybe try another overtake in the slipstream down the straight once again. But like I said, DJ they're doing a good job there, getting himself up from P7, I think it was, to P5 so far. It might have been P8 actually, I think, for DJ. Yeah, it's been a good race so far for him. We're on to lap 6, of course. The fuel level is very low indeed for DJ. That fuel light is flashing on that Mustang, so I think he might be in a bit of peril there, having to make an extra pit stop very soon indeed. But it looks like as all the drivers on the medium compound tyres, or the majority of the drivers on the medium compound tyres, I'll have a flip through and have a quick look, and it's only Hodgson there on the softs who is on the different compound. So yeah, it looks like everybody on the mediums apart from Hodgson. So that will mean that of course that all the pit stops will probably come around the same sort of time, some sort of phase, which will be interesting to see. But we are almost a quarter of the way through now, and we've only completed 6 laps. So that means, my reckoning, that means that 24 laps is about right. Maybe 23, maybe 25 laps if we can get, if we're lucky. V Todd from P2 is into the pits, so he's called it a day on those tyres and on that fuel. He needs a bit topping up. Does the Oreo car, the Oreo Mercedes, I should say. So he's coming into the pits there from P2. DJ, Masood and Mohammed are also into the pits as well. Here is the Oreo car, and just getting himself a new set of tyres and a bit more fuel added on as well. In the meantime, Angel has taken over P3, Ashik into P2, and Reza is, of course, commanding the lead as it stands at the moment. But yeah, once V Todd is back out on track, he'll take over P4, I think, and be able to crack on in this race. warning, I'm driving with a controller, it says on the back of that. Got to catch them all as well, so he's got a bit of a mix there between Pokemon and the Oreo theme livery as well. It seems like VTOD, they're fantastic stuff indeed. I appreciate that, I admire that very much. So good stuff indeed from him. VTOD now back out of the pits, and he's going to be getting himself back underway now as well in this race. He's lost quite a lot of time there to Reza, so I'm not quite sure. Reza is now coming through sector 2, so it must be a very long pit lane, unfortunately, for the drivers in this one as well. So that will of course play a factor into when they make their pit stops as well, and how long they're going to be held in the pits once they come out. It looks like Angel, yeah, it was almost 50 seconds. It looks like it's I'm not quite sure why it's taking them so long to get round. DJ's come back out in P5, and he's got Masood all over the back of him now as well into the end of the Kemmel Straight they come, but Masood can't quite make that move in that Porsche 911 just yet. Howie there is dropping into P7 as well, as here comes Hodgson as well. He's trying to get back into this fight, and I'm sure he will be able to get himself back into this fight as well, no doubt. You've seen the pace from Hodgson in the previous races. Of course, he's second in the championship for a reason. He's got the pace for sure, so we'll see him come back, no doubt, in this one. As Reza hasn't entered the pits now as well. I think Ashik, Angel is carrying on. Angel has decided he's got enough fuel on board, he's got enough tyres to keep going in this one. Angel now takes the lead of the race. VTOD is, where is VTOD? He's just coming up to the end of sector 2 now, so he's quite a while back from Reza, from Ashik as well. But of course, both these drivers need a new set of tyres and a completely new, completely topped up fuel tank as well. As yeah, for some reason it's giving me a very whiny noise there. But yeah, once these drivers have topped up their fuel tanks, they'll be able to get back underway. But I think VTOD here might be able to try and catch up this stage of the race. Sorry, will he be able to get into the lead of the race, take back the net lead of this race, I should say, from Reza? Has he had an extra bit of performance on this outlap for himself as he comes out, as he has come out of the pits? It's going to be almost a 3-minute lap there for himself as he comes across the line now. Here he comes now. I think Reza is coming out of the pits as it stands at the moment. VTOD coming around into turn 1. He's going to be right behind Reza as he comes round the exit of the pits. You can see him there in the background. VTOD then slotting himself back into P3. It wasn't a great lap unfortunately for him. It was just over 4 seconds was the gap, or is the gap now. I think it was just about 3.2 or so before the pit stop phase. So yeah, VTOD back into on the net P2, I should say. Ashik in the net P4, P3, but DJ has done a great job so far. He's now on the back of Ashik there for the final podium place as it stands. Of course, Angel has not yet pit from P1, so he will have to pit, I think, on this lap or the next lap. So that is good stuff from DJ. He's done a good job to get himself right into the back of the this queue, and potentially in the frame for a podium as well in this race. We'll just have to find out, of course, at the end, but he's now right behind the net P3 of Ashik in his Toyota Supra. So we'll have to see if he can get himself past now for P3, or for a net P3, of course. P4 on track as it stands at the moment, but of course with Angel probably pitting at the end of this lap, we shall see that change. I should think in DJ's favour as well. When the pit stops did begin, we did see DJ in P5, I think, with Angel there in P4, but I think there might be a bit of changes coming up here, as we've got a few more sort of complications for Angel. I think when he comes out of the pit, he's going to be very close in this battle, I think, but I think he might lose that position. He might lose those positions, I should say, to the likes of Ashik and to DJ as well. Potentially Masood in P6 could be able to take that position away from Angel as well. Into the pits he comes now, and putting on a new set of tyres and getting a bit of a refuel as well. I think let's have a look and see where the order is. He'll definitely come out behind the likes of Reza and VTOD, maybe Ashik and DJ as well. Can we see a move here from DJ into the bus stop chicane? Oh, he's almost lost the car there, it looks like, into the bus stop chicane. Just trying to get very close indeed to the back of that Toyota Supra of Ashik, and it's almost ended too badly for him. He's managed to control the car though, which is good stuff indeed, and he's got himself back underway. Masood having a bit of trouble coming through the bus stop chicane, the exit there as well. But here comes Ashik and DJ now into turn 1. Where will Angel come out? He's coming out the pits now. Where will he come out in respect to DJ as well? DJ is coming back round. Here is Masood there. He's slotted into P5 as Angel. They're coming out right behind DJ as well. Joining into this battle for the four cars pretty much, or maybe just 3 cars now. I think Masood might have dropped off the back a bit slightly, but no, he's doing a good job of sticking with them as well. So yeah, we've got four cars here in a battle for the third spot of the final spot of the podium, I should say. DJ has picked up a 1 second penalty there. I think I might have gone a bit wide on the exit of the first turn, and that has given him a 1 second penalty, which of course will be served when he crosses the penalty line, which is in sector 3. Is he going to make a move now down the inside into the long right-hander? He's trying to think about it. He's put his nose in there, but I don't think Ashik is having any of that, and he has not let the Mustang through just yet. This time the Supra has defended the position very nicely, and looks like he's going to be trying to go into Bouillon ahead in P3 still. And of course with DJ's penalty as well, then of course that will mean that the gap behind Ashik is a bit better for him, although going very wide here is Ashik. He's lost that position already to DJ. Down into P4 as Ashik after going a bit too fast into Bouillon, and that has cost him a lot of time and a position as well to DJ as well. Angel there might be trying to pounce now as well, having seen the mistake there from Ashik, but DJ of course will have a 1 second run. He's got a 1 second gap, or 1.4 second gap as it stands, to Ashik, but of course the deceleration line is coming out right about now. There it is, and he served his penalty here, so he's just got to get himself back on the way, but of course the momentum now is with Ashik. Can Ashik make a move into the bus stop chicane? He's got the Francorchamps to come through first. We saw DJ almost lose the car here on the last lap, just trying to get in the slipstream, trying to get behind the Supra, but this time the roles have reversed, and into the bus stop they come side by side. DJ there's trying to keep as much room as possible, but DJ there keeps P3 just about, and Ashik there sliding himself back into P4. Angel and Masood in the meantime are trying to close up on these two as well to make it a 4-way fight for that final podium spot. In the meantime, we've got Reza there, who's extended his gap in the lead out to 6.8 seconds. That's a great stuff indeed from Reza. Like I said, he was stuck behind Vitod for the first sort of 5 laps or so. Then since he got past, he's been able to really put his foot down and get himself a further glory. He's now got the fastest lap of the race as well, a 2:17, which was almost, I think it was roughly about the same that we had for pole position as well in the practice/qualifying. Vitod there now in P2. I think he, unfortunately for Vitod, he's on a different strategy slightly, because of course Reza has put the mediums back on and Vitod has gone for the hard compound tyres. So of course Vitod's tyres are expected to be a bit slower than Reza's at this stage of the race. Of course they'll go longer in the race though, and of course Reza will get more performance at the very beginning of the stint, but they will run out very quickly, or quicker than Vitod's tyres, I should say. DJ has gone onto the medium compound tyres. He's in P3 now, and it looks like he's trying to extend that gap to Ashik now. Looking like a very nice Coca-Cola delivery on that Mustang indeed. They're making me very thirsty, but Ashik there, as you can know my voice, making me very thirsty. Ashik there in P4. He's lost hold on DJ now. Unfortunately, he's 1.6 and almost 1.7 seconds behind now. He was, of course, as we got to this part of the circuit on the last lap in that P3 position, I should say. Now 2 seconds gap now to P3. It looks like Ashik, unfortunately, he's not going forward. He's going backwards as Masood got past Angel there. I'm not sure what happened. It must have been a bit of an issue there for Angel, who is now 3 seconds off Masood, coming through now into sector 3 as well. Ashik there is in, like I said, in P4. If there's any incidents or issues for the drivers ahead of him, he will be able to get that podium place back. But at the moment, he is losing time to DJ in P3, and that is going to put him off the podium places, off the podium steps at this stage of the race. Unfortunately for Hodgson, he's not having a good time in that BMW M6. He is losing time, I think, to the guys behind him. He's almost almost a lap down, I think, actually, on this occasion. He's coming up to the end of the Kemmel Straight. I think he's just had to make a pit stop, that's why. So of course he'd be able to go much longer now in this race compared to the others around him. So yeah, potentially we'll see Hodgson get back into this one. I think he's got one and a half minute gap to the car ahead of him, which of course is going to be a factor with that pit stop that he's just had as well. So of course, he's off the circuit once again. Hopefully he can keep that under control. He's managed to keep it under control just about, I think. Very slidey is that BMW M6 on this occasion, so hopefully he's not got any issues now. He's been able to keep the car going into the wall as well, so hopefully Hodgson, if I don't spectate you, then you have more luck. But yeah, he's not having much luck, unfortunately, as at this stage of the race. But like I said, with a 50-second pit stop phase, then he will potentially come back into this one, as he will be able to at least get that gap down to under sort of 20 seconds or so to the car ahead of him. Hamid's done a good job of getting back into this race as well. Of course, he was quite far way back. He's now been able to get himself into the range of Angel as well. If there's any mistakes, he will be up there ready to pounce. But elsewhere, it looks like the gaps are quite easily stable, or quite comfortably stabilised. And of course, DJ in P3 is gaining on V Todd, but of course V Todd is on the hard compound tyres, and looks like that fuel and the tyre wear itself for the Mustang in P3 is really having a torrid time at the moment. He's gone fastest so far, 7 tenths fastest. My voice is going. Sorry about that. So yeah, my voice is going, but yeah, DJ they're going 7 tenths faster in sector 2. That is great stuff indeed from the Mustang driver. Reza is flying on those tyres, says Pappy as well. Yeah, he's doing a great job. He's got a penalty there, unfortunately, but he's now 10 seconds clear of V Todd in P2. That is pretty good stuff indeed from him. But like I said, V Todd is looking behind him really now, because he's got the pressure of DJ coming through now in P3. 1.6 seconds is in the gap as DJ has set the fastest lap of the race now. It's a 2:17 still, but he's got a couple more attempts now on the previous fastest lap, which was of course Reza's as well. But now almost 1.3 seconds. That Mustang is really pushing hard at this stage of the race. And I think, to be fair to V Todd, he's probably just conserving at the moment, trying to get as far into this stint as he can. But yeah, V Todd going to be under pressure very shortly from DJ now. The gap almost under, I think by the end of the straight might be under 1 second, but it's coming down very slowly. Let's have a look and see what's going on around the order as well. Looks like Hodgson has managed to make it through that complex of corners with a quarter of no name, much better than he did last lap. And to be fair to him, his fastest laps in lap 5 and lap 6 are not far off the fastest lap that we've got so far. So yeah, like I said, he's got the pace. He indeed has Hodgson. Like I said earlier, he of course is in P2 in the championship standings for a reason as well, which shows his pace indeed. But like I said, here comes DJ now in P3. That fuel light is flashing once again on the Mustang. So that is going to be a worry for DJ. Of course, he's going to have to come into the pits very shortly to at least make sure he gets that fuel topped up. I think he probably needs a new set of tyres as well to make sure that he can get the best rubber he can get out on track. But I think that gap now to V Todd will start to extend once again, as V Todd's still got enough fuel on board, and of course on the hard combat tyres can go a bit longer anyway as well, just to make sure he can get himself further up the order, keep himself in that P2 position. But V Todd done a great job so far in this race. I don't think Reza is anyone to sort of scoff at. He's got the pace. We can see that from the previous results in this league as well. But Reza there doing a fantastic job as well, as per usual, to get himself up into P1 and now get himself as far away as possible as well. Into the bus stop chicane we come for P2 and P3. V Todd is carrying on, but DJ is into the pits. So he's called it a day on those medium compound tyres. He's decided to come into the pits now for a new tyre change and a bit more fuel, I think, as well. Sheik there carries on into P3 now, so Sheik does get his podium place back at the moment. Of course, with the pit stop phases still to come for a lot of drivers, there will be much more strategy changes and position changes in terms of the grid order as it stands. But here we go then, the Mustang is getting himself a new set of tyres put on, and of course a bit more fuel topped up into that tank as well. Will Masood come through? I think Masood is having a bit of trouble there. No, he has come through now into turn 1 for P6, as DJ of course still in the pit at the moment. And Hodgson there still having a bit of a struggle, unfortunately, for the driver that we saw do so well in the previous 6 rounds. Unfortunately, not having his best race. Unfortunately, this one, but of course. And as long as he finishes the race, he will get some points for himself. So he just needs to make sure he keeps going. 13.6 is the gap now between Reza and VTOD. VTOD has now got that fuel light flashing as well. I think maybe the hard combat tires might have been the wrong strategy call here, actually, because of course, if he's going to come into the pits, he might as well either stay on the tyres and keep going, or come in for a new set of tyres and a bit more fuel as well. So maybe the medium would be a better shout in terms of the race strategy. But maybe VTOD knows something that we don't. Of course, it's probably more likely that he does, because he doesn't have a clue what I'm doing. So VTOD there maybe has a trick up his sleeve still to come, of course, as DJ's come back out in P7 there. So he decided to get himself back out on the track. He's onto the medium compound tyres this time as well. So he's gone for the the 3 stints so far on the medium compound tyres, including this stint of course as well. So we'll see what he can do in the remainder of this race. We are halfway through, or just over halfway through. So we're on for maybe a lap 25, lap 26 actually. We'll be able to complete. So of course this is a 1 hour endurance race. So we've got to get to that 1 hour mark, and then whatever lap you're on at that 1 hour mark is the lap that is your final lap. You have to finish that lap when you get to the checkered flag, regardless of whether you're at the bus stop chicane at the very end of your last lap, or if you're at turn 1, you have to finish whatever lap you're on, and that will be your final lap. So here comes DJ now on his out lap. He's got the fastest lap so far as well. Really went for a push lap on that last stint, didn't we? We saw it on board with the Mustang, and now he's got himself that fastest lap. But of course, it's an extra point as well. So if he gets that fastest lap, he can get that point, and that will be his for the race, for the standings as well. Into the pits comes VTOD now. So he was in the pits from P2. As is Mohammed and Masood as well. They're both in the pits as well, but it looks like he's just getting a bit more fuel in the tank. Now Angel has carried on and he's now into P3. Good stuff indeed from Angel. He's doing a great job in this one. Where will VTOD come out though? That is the question. We have DJ now into P6 as he comes down the main straight, past across the start finish line and around towards turn 1 now. Is he going to be able to get ahead of VTOD? It's going to be close, I think, indeed. VTOD coming around now into the sorry, I've got a sneeze. Sorry about that. VTOD coming around now the pit exit, I should say. I was meant to say. And now he's lost that position actually to DJ. DJ's got that jump through the pit stop phase now into P4. VTOD now into P5. Of course, there's a few positions still to be made with the pit stops from the other drivers as well. Mohammed now coming back out in P6. So good stuff for him. Masood, they're just getting himself a bit more fuel on board as well. But DJ doing a great job there in P4 now, and I think we'll be setting his sights on getting him in the podium here, as he could potentially get past Ashik and Angel as well if it goes in his favour, of course, once they have made their pit stops as well. Maybe even try and challenge Reza for the lead of this race. But Reza is coming into the pits now. Those front tyres are completely worn out. Look at that. They are done and dusted, those front tyres. Hodgson there was almost going to get lapped, I think, there, but he's managed to carry on now. So Reza is in the pits. What will Ashik do? Those front tyres are once again, as we saw with Reza, almost completely dead there on the Toyota Supra, and the fuel light is flashing as well. So it's right time to get into the pits. It looks like. I think Angel will do, or no, he might not follow suit actually here. He's got some rear bumper damage, unfortunately, for Angel. So I'm not quite sure how that's happened, because he would have had to go backwards into something. So I think he's alright. Hopefully he's alright, as I think he'll be able to get into the lead, back into the lead of this race. DJs, they're coming through into sector 3 now, and I think he'll be out behind, he'll be slotting in behind Reza, but maybe he can battle Rashid for that P3 position. We shall find out. Let's see what he can do as he comes round the Francorchamps corner and in towards the bus stop chicane, the final complex of corners of the circuit of the lap. good evening to Cody as well. Cody said good evening to himself. Rightio, so anyway, there we go. Reza coming out in P2. DJ's got that P3. No, he's coming around turn 1 now, I should say, as VTOD has come through as well for P4. Ashik there just topping up the car still, so he's going to be slotting out, coming out in P5, I think. Hamid is too far back there to make any gains into P5, unfortunately for him. But Ashik there onto the medium compound tyres and is now going to be going for it to try and keep up or try and catch up now to VTOD and DJ Death Dragon as well, who's got that P3 position. Of course, Angel will have to make another pit stop very shortly as well. He's still got enough tyres and enough fuel to keep himself going for another few laps or so. So maybe that is a good call from the 911, the M&M theme line, 911 I should say. I'm thinking of the lines now as well. No, but he's doing a great job as Angel, and I think we're counting the driver of the day as well. That damage on the back of that car though is quite strange. I'm not sure how he got that without having an incident going backwards into a wall somehow, but he's managed to at least keep it on track so far in this race. He's doing a good job, it looks like, from my point of view. So yeah, we'll see what he can do. Of course, I think he might have to make another pit stop very shortly, but maybe not this lap. I think he can make it another couple of laps or so. Reza has now got a 10-second lead. That gap has come down between himself and VTOD, to DJ I should say. It was over 12 seconds I think it was to VTOD. I'm not sure if VTOD had a problem on that last lap, but he's now decided to put the medium compound tyres back on and go for it now. So he's 6 seconds behind DJ there in P4. Of course, it'll be a net P3 with Angel having to pit as well. So yeah, that will put him back into the podium places. Ashik there has dropped off the podium places as it stands at the moment. Of course, we're expecting a lot of strategy calls to come still. We've only got 20 minutes or 24. I'm trying to do maths now. 23 minutes left to go of this race, so there's still plenty of pit stops, strategy calls, and other things to unfold. So yeah, like I said, there's plenty to go as well. Hodgson is still doing a good job of trying to get back into this race action as well, as he's having a bit of a torrid time coming through that corner there. That complex corner seems to be quite difficult for him, unfortunately. I don't know whether that's a setup issue or there's something else going on there for Hodgson. But unfortunately he's just having a bit of a difficult time as it stands at this stage of the race. But like I said, hopefully he can get himself back in the frame of this one. Masood has had a problem, I think, somewhere, because he's now dropped off the back of the battle. We saw him, Masood there was in the battle actually for P3 at one point actually. To be fair to him, he was doing a good job of sticking with right of Ashik, VTOD and DJ as well. But now seems to have dropped off the back there. Having a bit of a problem there in the Porsche 911, and yeah, unfortunately he's not got as nice a livery as we got there with the other Porsche of Angel. So yeah, the M&M theme livery is the winner for me. Like I said, I think actually out of the two Porsches, that is, of course, I think out of the whole grid, the best livery for me, I don't know, I have to pick between of course Angel, DJ as well. VTOD definitely is up there with his nice Oreo themed livery, and of course I can't remember who it was now. It was Hodgson as well, who has the lovely monster themed livery as well. But he's going to the pits is Hodgson. So hopefully I think he's just getting a bit more fuel on board in that car, because I think he was running out a bit on that car at the time. Maybe this is a nice strategic call from him as well. See what he can do on the new set of boots. It looks like Angel will have to pit as well on this lap. Those rear tyres actually for Angel is the problem tyre, rather than the fronts that we saw for Reza and for Ashik. And the fuel is getting low as well, so he needs to top that up as well. So yes, once Hodgson has got himself back underway, hopefully he can keep on the lead lap, as here comes Reza now as well. Reza coming through the bus stop chicane, gone a bit deep there in the first part of the corner, and that of course compromised him on the exit, but he's taken back the lead of the race, I think. I think he has, yes he has. Hodgson is coming back out now, so I think he'll be just ahead of Reza, I think, here. He's got the blue flags being waved at him as well. But I think he's a bit too far away actually for the blue flags to be waved. So that's not the right time just yet, in my opinion. Reza there in P1, his gap to DJ is coming down quite quickly. DJ's got the fastest lap, has extended his fastest lap as well, but it's still in the 2:17s. But now the gap to the leader is 7.2 seconds. It was over 12 seconds at one point. So DJ is really pushing here to try and get the lead of this race, get the win of this race as well. Angel coming out the pits now, he's going to be in P5. Mohammed a bit too far back to be able to try and jump him in the pit stop phases. So Angel is slotting back out into P5. Sheik now into P4 and VTOD into P3. So that is the order as it stands. VTOD, and they're going fastest in sector 1, only just by half a tenth. In the end of sector 1 there, but yeah, looking good indeed for VTOD. I think we can see there, we can definitely see there comparing Reza's tyres and fuel to DJ. DJ is really pushing on this stint here. We can see he's now got the gap down to 6.7. It's coming down rapidly, and DJ is really going for it on this stint. Unfortunately for DJ, I think he's going to have to make another pit stop. Oh, sorry. But yeah, DJ they're having to really push to try and get that gap down, but I think that's going to cost him, or come out the cost again, I should say, of another pit stop for a new set of tyres and a top up of fuel as well. So I think maybe he's just pushing on now to try and maximise this stint, of course, try and make the most of those tyres as well, and that's fuel load, and then of course go on to another set of tyres to make it to the final end of this race. We've only got 19 minutes left, so we're nearly there. But like I said, we're coming up to the twilight of this race, I should say, because it is we're getting into the final third now, and looks like the drivers have done a great job so far in this one. I think unfortunately for Hodgson, he's now going to be getting those blue flags waved at him, as you can see Reza in the background. Reza there coming up to turn 1 now. You can see that BMW M6 right in front of him, and hopefully he can get out of the way, jump out of the way quickly for Reza. As DJ is back in the pits there, so VTOD there jumping back up into P2. We just said DJ might have to make another pit stop, and he is coming in now, so he's decided to call it a day on those medium compact tyres and potentially go onto a new set of mediums as well, and get himself sorted as well. In comes the Mustang now for a pit stop. I think Angel will get that P4 back. I think Mohammed might be able to get into that P5 phase as well potentially. So DJ might be dropping out of the podium places all the way down to P7 or P6, I should say. So that might be a bit of a climb back for DJ. Whether the other drivers around him have to make another pit stop or not, we will find out. We're expecting about 20, I think we said about 25 laps around the Spa-Francorchamps circuit. Tonight, of course, it's a 1 hour endurance race, so you have to go for 1 hour and then finish the final lap that you're on when you get to that 1 hour mark. But DJ, they're coming out of the pits. I think he's got 3 second penalty there for coming out of the pits and crossing the line as well. Unfortunately, with DJ, that is not what he wanted, as he's coming out of the pits now into the circuit, onto the circuit in Arbo Rouge he goes. But of course, that penalty will have to be served at the end of sector 2, beginning of sector 3. Onto the medium compact tyres he goes, and he's now got a sizable gap there to Reza. But of course, the pit stop phase is the reason for that. Of course, it's about 50 seconds that you lose in the pit stops. I'm not quite sure why, because it's not that long of a pit stop, pit lane, I should say. But like I said, the cars, of course, need to get their fuel on board, so maybe the refueling rate has been lowered for the race. I'm not quite sure. I don't think so. It's probably the same as usual. As it usually saved as it is. So it's the same for all races. Hodgson there having trouble keeping it on the track once again. He's sliding around in that M6, and he's gone for a spin, it looks like, as well in that M6. Blimey, he's really going for it there. Hopefully he can get himself rectified and back onto the circuit indeed. I think they're just spinning around there, trying to have a bit of fun there on the donuts. But yeah, there's blue flags now for faster cars approaching as well, and that is of course VTOD there in P2. VTOD's now got a 19-second gap to P1. He's really got a big gap there to Reza, of course, who took the lead around lap 5. Hodgson has got that P7 as well now, ahead of Masood. So Masood there is down into P8, and I think Hodgson there, like I said, well done to him, to be fair, for sticking at it. He's got those extra points. If he can just finish in that P2 position, he'll be P7 position, I should say, sorry. Then he will of course get those extra points as well awarded to him. firstly what he needs to do is make sure he doesn't get in the way of the couple guys on the lead lap at the moment. Vitod is right behind him, so he needs to make sure that he lets Vitod through, I think, here, but I'm not quite sure if he wants to. It doesn't look like it at the moment, unfortunately for Vitod. So Vitod now is stuck behind Hodgson for the time being, and will be trying to get himself through cleanly and comfortably, but of course they've got a nice gap there to Ashik at the moment, so he just have to bide his time. I think maybe Hodgson, they're just letting him through now into the long right hander he goes, and Vitod now has got that position on Dustin, so he's up into P2 now as well. Good stuff indeed. DJ is out in P6 as we were thinking he was going to be, but he's now got a bit of a challenge now to try and get the gap down to Mohammed and to Angel ahead of him. He was of course running in the podium places and would like to finish there, I can imagine. Of course most drivers would like to. So yeah, like I said, I don't think I'll be able to compete with anybody in this grid, unfortunately. So I'll just be stuck at the back somewhere. Yeah, so that is that. But I think all the drivers so far have done a great job in this race. Fastest lap, of course, will get that extra point for himself at the end of the race as well, should he be able to keep hold of it, I should say. But he's bringing that gap down now to Mohammed. It's coming down slowly. Of course, I think maybe just waiting and biding his time. He doesn't want to burn out those tyres and burn off that fuel too quickly as well. So Mohammed there, it looks like we'll have to make another pit stop very shortly because those tyres are getting a bit worn out. And Angel has just pitted as well, so Angel is actually in a good spot here, potentially for a podium. We might be able to see as Ashik there is in the same spot as Mohammed, I think, as well. He's got a bit of tyre wear on those medium compact tyres, and will need to make a pit stop very soon. Vitod is coming to the pits from P2, I should say. He's decided to call it a day on those medium compact tyres as well and get a bit more fuel added on board. Reza is still going. He's done a great job so far in terms of conserving those tyres and the fuel level. But I think he'll have to make a pit stop in the next lap or two as well. Angel has carried on there into P3 now. Is the M&M themed livery of that Porsche 911. Mohammed there will carry on as well, I think. Potentially, no, yes, he is carrying on as well. So he's decided to carry on in this stint, as we can see the gap now to DJ coming down under 10 seconds now, as DJ is really putting his foot down to try and get after the likes of Mohammed and Angel as well. Will Vitod get out ahead of DJ this time? I don't think he will, actually. It might be close, but I think we'll see potentially at the end of this the end of this straight. Here comes DJ round turn 1 now, and Vitod still in the pit, so I think he's got that move done and dusted. Now up into P5 is DJ, and Vitod will come out in P6 at the moment as it stands, but of course still a few more pit stop phases to come. All the drivers around him as well, so like I said, it's not all doom and gloom for Vitod. He's still in with a shout getting the podium place here, so yeah, good stuff indeed from him as well. Look at that, Reza and Ashik both on exactly the same tyres pretty much, and exactly the same fuel levels as well. So yeah, there we go. I think both these drivers are on the same sort of strategy as well. We'll be making a pit stop very shortly, I believe, as Angel looks like he might be able to actually take the lead of this race as it stands at the moment. Angel doing a great job with giving that tyre wear down and the fuel level up, I should say. So yeah, going great guns is Angel as well, potentially on for a win here. We shall see. I think Mohammed has to make another stop very shortly indeed, maybe even on this lap. We might see Mohammed into the pits. DJ there, we saw pit on the end of the previous lap. Vitod we just saw pit as well, just on this lap, the beginning of this lap as well. So he's on his out lap now. So Vitod will be looking to get himself back into the podium places potentially in this race. Let's have a look and see who's going to do what next. I think Reza decided to carry on in this stint. I think Ashik is coming in the pits. As you can see, Hodgson there in P7 coming through the bus stop chicane now. Ashik from P2 is into the pit stops now. What will happen for the likes of Angel? I think Angel can carry on here, can't he? As we saw before. So Angel, they're going to be coming through the bus stop chicane now into a nice comfortable P2, and potentially, like I said, setting his sights on maybe getting that P1 back as well. And if you can keep that those tyres alive and the fuel level just about right, he could be on for a shout of a win here as well, could Angel, which will be very nice indeed for himself and for myself indeed, because that M&M theme delivery is making me hungry. So there we go. Mohammed there takes that P3, but he's really low on tyres and fuel at the moment. Is Mohammed there as out comes not just yet. Ashik is still there in P5 in the pits as it stands. Here comes V Todd now down the main straight towards turn 1. He's going to get out ahead of Ashik. Ashik coming out of the pits now, and V Todd coming around turn 1. I think it's going to be very close between the two of them, but he has made that move just about. So V Todd now up into P5, Ashik now into P6, but of course with the tyres. So yeah, Ashik into P6 now as V Todd has come out ahead of him just about. He's only about 2.5 seconds or so is the gap, so there might be some moves there from Ashik to try and get himself back into the frame of this one. Angel there doing a good job as well, like I said, but I think Reza will have to make a pit stop now, and Mohammed, I think at the end of this lap also will have to make a pit stop as well. So those two will have to make pit stops, so that might promote Angel. I think that will promote Angel to P1 and potentially promote DJ to P3 as well. So we'll see how it all unfolds in the next few seconds once they've made their pit stops. Lap 21 is the lap we're on. So we're only expecting a few more laps here, or only a couple more laps here really, as we're on 51 minutes done and dusted, I should say, and that will mean that we've only got 9 minutes left of this race. So going great guns. It's gone very quickly in my opinion, which is nice because my voice is about to die. So there we go. But Reza there into the pits. Angel there coming up to the bus stop chicane now. Will he be able to take the lead of this race? I think he might be very close indeed. He's got a yellow flag somewhere. Yellow flag, I think for Mohammed potentially. No, I think it is for Mohammed. Mohammed, I think, might have run out of fuel here, so he needs to make sure that the DJ can get past. DJ has got past him as Angel takes the lead of the race, and Reza has come around turn 1 now. Is Angel. I think Reza there coming out the pits very shortly as well indeed, so he will be able to get after Angel as well and try and assert that dominance there with the extra tyres and of course the extra fuel on board as well. DJ does take over P3 I should say, as does Ashik for P4. Mohammed there getting a bit more fuel on board. I think Mohammed is very late into the pits there. He should have carried on, should have come in earlier, I think, as that has cost him a lot of time and a lot of positions as well, I think, because of course going a bit slow without any fuel on board is not good, as we've found out before. I don't know where V Todd has gone. He's gone back into the pits, has V Todd. He's got a bit of damage on that car. I'm not sure what happened to him. Unfortunately for V Todd, it was going so well for him, of course, getting pole position in this race, and now he's had to come to the pits for repairs as well. 3.7 seconds is the gap to the leader for Reza. That is 3.6 in terms of Angel's defence, in terms of trying to defend for the lead, for the win of this race, of course, as well. Mohammed coming out the pits now. V Todd just getting himself sorted. I think was getting that damage fixed. Not quite sure what happened to V Todd there, but nonetheless, whatever's happened to V Todd, he's done a great job of making me hungry for this race, and for after this race as well, I should say. But now the gap between Angel and Reza. Can we see a new winner here in Belgium in the circuit of Spa-Francorchamps? Can we see Angel lift the top spot? We've only got 7 minutes to go now in this race. Will that mean that it depends, of course, when the timer finishes as well, where they are on the lap. If they're just starting the lap, then of course he's still got one whole lap to go. But if he's just finishing the lap, then it comes in his favour, I suppose. The gap now coming down towards 3 seconds now, 3.2, 3.1 now is the gap. It is coming down gradually, under 3 seconds now, as here comes Reza. I think Reza decided to turn the power up, and he's now getting after Angel for the lead of this race. DJ there doing a good job in P3. Ashik there we just saw getting past. I think it was Hodgson who's on his own, unfortunately, at the moment in P8, just serving his penalty there, but he's managing to keep going, which is good, because of course that will mean that he gets those points awarded to him after this race. I think V Todd there was into the pits to fix some damage on that car. Not quite sure what happened to him, if he'd just gone off or if there was an issue, but yeah, well, hopefully he's alright. He'll have to serve that penalty, of course, which was gained by coming into the pits, I think it was. So unfortunately for V Todd, like I said, he's dropped down the order now. Mohammed into P5 and the Sheik there in P4. And now DJ in P3, but here is the battle. Well, the battle has come down, the gap I should say, has come down massively. Look at that, it's now, it was 3 seconds or so when we last looked, just under 3 seconds. It's now under 1 second as they come into Sector 2. And Reza is going to be going great guns here to try and get the win for this race. Like I said, we've only got 5 minutes, or just over 5 minutes to go now in this one. It's going to be very close once again, but I think Reza is going to have too much for Angel there. I think in this stint, we've got a lapped car there of Masood in P7, just getting out of the way, or just getting out, as you can see in the foreground there. He's going to have to get out of the way very shortly. But here comes Reza now, coming round the Pouillon corner, and he's going to be able to try and get all over the back now of that Porsche 911 that you can see right in front of him. I'm sure it's a very tasty sight indeed for Reza as well, as it is for me, with his M&M themed livery for Angel. But like I said, looking very nice as well for Reza in that Toyota Supra as well. Coming round now into Sector 3. They're just about to start going through down back onto the straight or the slipstream. Oh, as Angel's going wide off the circuit. What is that? He's not going too well there. And that is definitely going to be helping Reza try and get past Angel there, having a bit of torrid time coming through Francorchamps now as well. And I think there might be, I'm not quite sure what Angel's doing there. I think he might have just lost concentration with the likes of the pressure that Reza has put on him to try and get past for P1, and Reza has made that move now up into P1 as well. Good stuff indeed from Reza. Angel there having to slot into P2 now. He's lost a lot of time on the last couple of corners as well. He's lost almost 2 seconds indeed to Reza as well. So that is unfortunately Angel's defence up in smoke, unfortunately for him on this occasion. He's going to have to try and make sure that those tyres and that fuel can last to the end of the race. I think on this occasion DJ has decided to call it a day on those tyres, though. He's decided to come into the bits, and that could mean a podium for a Sheik is on the cards. Mohammed might be able to get past as well for P4. But there we go. That is a bit of a disaster strategy call there from DJ. Unfortunately for him, he is now down into P4 after making an extra stop that he probably didn't need to make, really, to be honest. If he just made sure that he kept the fuel levels as low as possible, sorry, as high as possible, and maintained the tyre wear. But unfortunately, I don't think it is inside his control there, as he's been unfortunately the tyre wear, it was too excessive and the fuel was running out, so he has to make a bit of stop nonetheless anyway. And here comes DJ now back out onto the track, onto the soft compound tyres though. I don't think he's going to be able to keep that gap, get that gap down in within 3 minutes, I should say, to a Sheik there of 18 seconds. It's just a bit much to call. I think I would say, in my opinion. But what do I know? Of course, I have no idea. So maybe we'll see. Maybe we will see a move for that final podium place. But at the moment, it is. It looks like I'm not sure what Angel's up to really, because all he needs to do is make sure he keeps it clean, not get any penalties, and then he can probably get a P2 guaranteed. Here, but yeah, he seems to be going off the circuit every time we look at him, so hopefully he can keep himself onto the grey tarmac stuff, and that will be it for his race. DJ now has to push as hard as he can to try and get because of course that is an extra point for himself to be added on to his standings as well. And of course the points for finishing in P8, of course, as long as he finishes, he gets those points as well. So good stuff for keeping at it. Not being his race, unfortunately, for today, but he's still done a good job of keeping going and keeping in this race. Unfortunately, we saw him start qualifying on pole and start really well. He was battling Reza for a long part of that race as well, and unfortunately, it's just not gone right for him. Unfortunately, at this final stage in this race, I should say. Mohammed having a bit of an issue there, coming through Pouillon as well, and that has unsettled the Porsche 911 car, unfortunately for him. DJ there is bringing that gap down to a Sheik. Will he be able to get that gap down in the time that he's got, though? Unfortunately, I don't think so. So we might be on the final lap actually here. I think DJ will be starting his final lap now, but I think this might be his final lap as well, as it looks like Reza there is just coming up to the end of the Kennel Straight, and he has 1 minute left of this race. So I think this will be the final lap, as blimey, what's happening there? Masood there just goes flying through, unfortunately for him. Not looking good for Masood, as he's left the session as well, so that is well, good news for Hodgson as well, I suppose, because he's now promoted to P7. yeah, not quite sure what was happening there. M&M's was melting, says Wiki. Yeah, I think that was the case. The M&M's were melting. Looks like that fuel load is also melting as well. Those rear tyres are under severe pressure now for Angel in that Porsche. Potentially a Sheep, if he can capitalise, will be able to maybe get that position back, as he's being put under pressure now from the lap car of Hodgson there, but Hodgson, I think, is a bit too far back from the top to be able to make any moves. I think he's trying to go for the fastest lap of the race here as well, but I don't think it's going to be in vain, or it's not going to be needed. He is, or currently the fastest lap has got the fastest lap of the race so far. We're into the 1 hour mark. I'm not sure what time it will stop though. We're on the final lap now, as it says anyway, so we're on to the final lap. Here we go, here comes Reza, I should say, coming round now into Francorchamps. Luckily the lap finished too long after the 1 hour mark was made. So there we go. As Reza there off the circuit though, he's got a penalty there added onto his time. I'm not quite sure what happened to him there. I just took my eyes off to read the comments, and Reza has gone off in a big way there, and I think Angel might be on for a win here, to be potentially, as they're coming through now into the bus stop chicane. All he needs to do is stay within 1.5 seconds of Reza as well here on the exit, and I think he's got the win here, because of course that penalty will be added onto his race time, and across the line it's going to be Angel who takes the win. A fantastic win indeed. Reza there in P2, a Sheep there is going to cross the line in P3, but what a win there for Angel. We'll go back to that. Angel there with the win as well from I think it was P5, P6 on the grid. What a result there from Angel. He's done a great job indeed to get the win. I'm not sure what happened to Reza there on the final corner there. I think he was going a bit too fast for his liking.